So today we are going to talk about importance of vocabulary in IELTS writing. First thing which everyone should be aware of is your IELTS writing and speaking, their weightage also depends up to 25% on vocabulary. Now, vocabulary here doesn't mean using fancy words here and there. Sometimes people might think that if I use a couple of high-end words here and there, maybe they'll give me a band 8. Yes, you might get, but sentence formation is important. Task response is important. Coherence is important. Right? Grammatical accuracy is important. If you're not good in all these parameters, no matter how well you write your essay, you might think that you'll be getting 7.5 or 8, but you will not, right? Because so many of our students, right, they were good writers, and sometimes they got like little confused with the essay question type, and then everything just went upside down. They ended up scoring very basic, like 6, or even sometimes their scores dropped below 5.5. So vocabulary, like I just mentioned, it's definitely a part of IELTS writing as well as speaking, but how appropriately you use it, it matters, right? For instance, if you're saying widespread, you can say prevalent or common, right? So it is important for you to know 2 synonyms for each word. Well, 2 synonyms at least for each word. ये आप इसको escape नहीं कर सकते, right? Especially students from Telangana, right? I'm from Warangal basically, so I have my institute at Subedari. So आप कितना भी करो, आप vocabulary को escape नहीं कर सकते. What is the drawback of not knowing vocabulary? Well, you're going to repeat the same word over and over again, 4 times, 5 times. So it's very important for you to have command over your English in the form of vocabulary as well. Now, a lot of students are skeptical about not getting proper scores in IELTS writing. See, the first and foremost thing here is that again, they'll not check your pronunciation in your writing, whereas in your speaking it's tested, right? They'll check your fluency in speaking. And they are not going to check your fluency in writing, right? So these parameters, they distinguish writing entirely from speaking, right? Now, when we open the book, let's have a look at a sample question from the official Cambridge guide. All right. So yeah, I'll just turn off my laptop. Okay, just a moment. Okay. All right. So when we have a look at a sample question, I'll also tell you the importance of this question, right? I mean, how to understand a question. This is also very important, huh? Sometimes students, they don't understand the types of questions, and they end up writing something else, right? And they get lower scores. Okay, so proceeding with one sample writing, let me just open one writing sample. All right. It might take a minute. Yeah. All right. So here, let me check. Yes. This essay, I'll read out for you. Car ownership has increased so rapidly over the past 30 years. Now, past 30 years. If you have to frame, you shouldn't be writing past 30 years in the paraphrasing, the introduction of the essay. You can write 3 decades, right? 3 decades is nothing but past 30 years, right? That many cities in the world are now one big traffic jam. So it's about traffic jam. The essay is about traffic jam. How true do you think this statement is? Now the examiner is asking, the world is facing a problem of traffic jam. Many cities in the world are facing the issue of traffic jam. How true do you think? If you think it's true, then you have to write why is it true. right? And what measures can governments take to discourage people? So for discourage, you can say demotivate also, right? I mean, there are a few synonyms, right? People from using their cars. So logically, if you think it's true, you have to write the reasons why it's true. Right? What are the reasons? Well, mobility के बारे में आप लिख सकते हो, right? What measures can be taken by the governments? Authorities भी लिख सकते हैं आप इसको. Persuade, encourage, dissuade, discourage, right? So dissuade भी लिख सकते हैं. So this is how you have to frame some basic vocabulary, right? It's very important for you in your IELTS writing to use the right words, and trust me, never use a wrong word, right, in the wrong place, because it's going to have, you know, a bad impression. Okay, the examiner is going to think that you don't know the meaning of the word and you have just used it. Okay, and similarly in the speaking part, right? Popular teacher that you know. I mean, it's about a person, right? What this teacher looks like. Okay, what sort of person this teacher is. So what sort of person? Kind, compassionate, benevolent. You can use these words. I mean, you should be knowing the meaning, appropriate meaning of that word. Only then, you know, start speaking. Can I use idiomatic expressions in my IELTS speaking? Yes, definitely you can, but do not rely only on idioms and think that you're going to get a very good score. No, they are allowed in IELTS. Simple. How this teacher helped you learn, right? You can say, this person has got conspicuous mentorship skills, right? Meticulous, that is what you say. Explain, okay. So you can give 2 to 3 reasons why this teacher is popular. If you just give one reason, I can say this person, apart from being a good teacher, right, she is also a wonderful, counselor or, friend, anything like that. It's okay. What I mean to say is that when you practice your IELTS speaking, you are going to see many strange questions, right? So you should generate the capacity to answer those questions. It's very important, right? आपको कितने भी strange questions आने दीजिए. You have to be ready to answer those. And remember, examiner is not worried about the content being fake or real. Okay, they just want an answer. Now proceeding with the other question, it is like speaking part 2. So I'm also talking about, okay, I mean this video is just about vocabulary, no need to worry much. Okay, मतलब ये है बोलने का कि try using vocabulary, try using synonyms. It's really good, and if you're confident with a high-end word, definitely you can try using it, but be aware, right, about its pronunciation, right? It shouldn't be mispronounced, right? So the other question in part 2, right, is describe a restaurant you enjoyed going to. Enjoyed, ed, so it's past participle, where the restaurant was. So you can describe a place during my visit to Kerala, like that, anything. मतलब ये है कि आप कोई टॉक बना सकते हो, ऐसा नहीं कि आपको जो फैक्ट्स है वही बोलना है, राइट? सो कैसे स्टार्ट करना है? टुडे आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक, और टुडे आईड लाइक टू टॉक, राइट, लाइक दिस. हु यू वेंट विथ, ओके, आप फैमिली मेम्बर्स बोल सकते हो, राइट? फ्रेंड्स, एनीवन, नथिंग टू वरी अबाउट दैट. व्हाट टाइप ऑफ फूड यू एट इन दिस रेस्टोरेंट. सो आप 4 or 5 categorize this into at least 3 or 4 dishes so that you'll be naturally extending the answer, right? Okay, explain why you thought the restaurant was good. So you can say it was in proximity to the countryside, right? Matlab nearness, vicinity, whatever you call it, right? Using vocabulary confidently is also important, right? Shouldn't be just thinking about a word, oh, what was that word, and again speak. No, right? So vocabulary आपको यहाँ पर नहीं बल्कि बहुत सारी जगह काम आएगी, right? So proceeding with few other essays. काफ़ी सारे लोग in this era लिखते हैं. It's okay, not a problem. You can also write in today's contemporary world, right? Contemporary, right? So it's a synonym for modern, right? You can also use epoch, right? Epoch का मतलब होता है era को बोलते हैं epoch, right? In today's contemporary epoch, right? लेकिन paraphrasing की जगह you have to be alert, right? Conversion from active to passive is also likely to help you in your IELTS writing, right? So this is how it is. So what I mean to say is that try learning synonyms every day. Okay, you have got many dictionaries online, right? Those will help you up to a great extent. and try reading newspapers, right? That is also going to benefit you up to a great extent, right? Furthermore, another important point to improve your IELTS speaking and writing both. For writing, you can read certain magazines, articles or newspapers, right? That's going to help you. And for improving your speaking, right, try to think in English. Now there is an important point here. If you try to think in English, slowly you are going to start generating ideas in English, because quite a lot of times when we have to think about a word in English, we usually think about that in our mother tongue, right? And we try to convert that into English. So that usually takes time, that eats time. So you cannot be doing that on the day of exam, right? So you should be alert. For instance, right, keep a track of activities you have done since morning until now. Think if you are able to speak about all those activities in English, you will know, right, where do you stand up to some extent, right? So this is very important, and I'll be coming up with few other videos regarding IELTS, writing, speaking, listening and reading in the coming days. So if you have liked this video, yes, do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more upcoming videos, and if you have any questions, like I told today, idioms, right, can they be used? Yes, of course you can use idioms, because IELTS speaking is an informal conversation. That doesn't mean you can use abusive words, you should not, right? But these are allowed. I mean, the idiomatic expressions are allowed, but do not try to connect idioms, okay? I mean, you shouldn't be linking one idiom with another. Use it. For instance, how often do you read books? Well, I read books once in a blue moon. Give a reason, because I'm quite busy with my household chores, like this. Now, following the trend of intonation is also important in your IELTS speaking, right? Intonation in simple terms is rise and fall of your voice while you speak, right? So ఎప్పుడైనా ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే కామెంట్ చేయండి, right? And if you want to attend my online classes, then you can text me or directly you can comment, okay? So God bless you.